No matter what a post on Tumblr tries to tell you, your moral and ethical stances will never be determined by what you reblog and what you scroll past. Don't let manipulation tactics force you into doing anything you don't want to do. I find it very interesting to note the times in which this post has a sudden resurgence. It often follows very stressful, upsetting events where a lot of "reblog this or you suck" posts start appearing on this site. So I'll say it again. It is okay if you come to Tumblr to escape upsetting news. It is okay if you're just here for fun and fandom. It is okay if you do not want to use your Tumblr as a place to read about or spread the current events that are circulating. It is okay if you need a place to decompress and just relax. There are other ways to be involved in or support causes, and you are allowed to set boundaries on social media platforms without being indicative of your belief systems. Your beliefs, values, ethics, and moral stances are not determined by whether or not you reblog something. Someone in distress. Empathy, feeling the same emotions as the other person. Sympathy, feeling sorrow or concern for the other person. Compassion, feeling care and warmth for the other person. I wish more people got this, because some low empathy people are the most compassionate and sympathetic in the universe, and I hate it when it's taken to mean unfeeling and probably hostile, when nothing could be further from the truth. Or, as my dad put it, sympathy, I know how you feel. Empathy, I feel how you feel. Compassion, is there anything I can do to help? Sympathy, that sucks, bro. Empathy, I feel that. Compassion, want me to send you some puppy and kitten pictures to make you feel better? Posts like this make me feel so much better. It always seems like society treats responses to others' pain as though empathy is the most important kind. I am around 85% compassionate, and this post helped me not feel like I am a monster because of that for once. If you're a creator and you needed to hear this today, you have no idea how many people lurk on your work. No idea how many times people go back to revisit your work. How big they smile when they simply think about your work. How fast their heart beats. How excited they get when they see that you posted something. People are shy with their feedback. Sometimes it's because they're simply shy. Other times it's because they assume you already know how great and talented you are. Could be both. My point is, even if you barely have any likes or reblogs, don't get discouraged. You have a lot of silent fans, but they are still your fans. Keep on creating, because there is always someone out there who will love what you have made. Tell me a pretty thing. In Uzbek, we have this concept of the divine dark, the darkness from which all things came. So there's this idea that shows up in a lot of our literature that when the world was first made, it was like a gentle night, peaceful, quiet, and pitch black. The night is when creation started, and the night is when you're closest to glimpsing what it was like at the very start of the world. Oh, wow, that's gorgeous. Psst. Hey, are you an artist or writer with works in progress? Come here, I got a secret for you. Psst, come here. Waiting in deep suspense. Psst, you ready? Here comes the secret. Here it comes. I am also very curious about this secret. Your time spent enjoying the creative process is infinitely more valuable than any final project you create. So stop putting yourself down for never finishing or posting those works in progress, because every moment you spent creating something you loved is a moment not wasted. Your progress and talent is measured by your passion, not your number of posts. Hope is a skill. Hope is a weapon you are trained to wield. Favorite editions. Yes, you can get better at it. Hope is a discipline. Hope is not something you have, it's something you create for yourself. It really is, dude. It's fucking hard. Hope is heavy. You will drop it, but you must pick it up again. Hope. Something hard to get and harder to maintain nowadays. Aspects. Sometimes hope is spite, rebranded, and that's fine. Optimism is also a skill. With the right reinforcement, you can learn just about anything. Also, a lot of time. Sometimes a lot of time. As well as faith. Not necessarily in God, but in the good in the world. Life sucks, and then you die. But life is also everything good in between. It's cake, sunsets, snow plants, fresh air, birds singing, a nap. Hope is a plant you care for. I think a lot about how we as a culture have turned forever into the only acceptable definition of success. Like, if you open a coffee shop and run it for a while, and it makes you happy, but then stuff gets too expensive and stressful and you want to do something else, so you close it, it's a failed business. If you write a book or two, then decide that you don't actually want to keep doing that, you're a failed writer. If you marry someone and that marriage is good for a while and then stops working and you get divorced, it's a failed marriage. The only acceptable win condition is you keep doing that thing forever. A friendship that lasts for a few years, but then its time is done and you move on is considered less valuable or not a real friendship. A hobby that you do for a while and then are done with is a phase, or alternately a pity that you don't do that thing anymore. A fandom is dying because people have had a lot of fun with it but are now moving on to other things. I just think that something can be good and also end, and that thing was still good. And it's okay to be sad that it ended too, but the idea that anything that ends is automatically less than this hypothetical eternal state of success, I don't think that's doing us any good at all. Sometimes, things that feel good in the short term are worse. Love the tags. Been getting in the habit of asking myself, am I doing this to avoid pain or to foster joy? Which has allowed me to identify how to make the pain more bearable and achieve, actual joy, instead of a fearful kind of null comfort. 10 out of 10 would recommend. More good comments! My recovering addict ass scrutinizing every potential pleasurable situation under a microscope, because I'm still working on creating new pathways in my brain so I don't die. Sometimes I can literally feel my brain rewiring when I make a good new choice, and I'm like, amazing! I love neuroplasticity. I love that being an addict doesn't have to ruin my life forever in the way I thought it would. Those tags hate Epicureanism. Something my therapist told me to do is to ask myself, if I were to take good care of myself, what would I do next? And let me tell you, my mom friend override is now in high gear for myself. It's absolutely amazing. I'm pretty sure some of y'all are therapists in disguise planted by the big mental health to prevent us from going insane from time to time. In the same way that your heart feels and your mind thinks, you, mortal beings, are the instrument by which the universe cares. If you choose to care, then the universe cares. If you don't, it doesn't. Brennan Lee Mulligan accidentally stumbling onto the meaning of life during a fucking D&D game on a $5 a month comedy streaming service. The surface of the Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. On this shore, we've learned most of what we know. Recently, we've waded a little way out, maybe ankle deep, and the water seems inviting. Some part of our being knows this is where we came from. We long to return, and we can, because the cosmos is also within us. We're made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Carl Sagan. Looking at the night sky makes me realize how puny and insignificant I am on the cosmic scale. I am the result of 14 billion years of cosmic evolution. I am a thermodynamic miracle. I am the waking universe looking back at itself. Griffin McElroy. Our capacity for love increases with each person we cross paths with throughout our lives, and with each moment we spend with those people. But too often we neglect that part of ourselves in favor of others, and by the time we realize just how important it is, we find ourselves with fewer folks around to practice with. And the universe said, "I love you." And the universe said, "You have played the game well." And the universe said, "Everything you need is within you." And the universe said, "You are stronger than you know." And the universe said, "You are the daylight." And the universe said, "You are the night." And the universe said, "The darkness you fight is within you." And the universe said, "The light you seek is within you." And the universe said, "You are not alone." And the universe said, "You are not separate from every other thing." And the universe said, "You are the universe tasting itself, talking to itself, reading its own code." And the universe said, "I love you because you are love." Julian Go, Minecraft End Poem. In terms of please for the love of God get hobbies that aren't scrolling through an app for 6 hours a day, I understand and experience completely the argument of with the stressors of modern work, you don't have the energy at the end of the day to do anything but mindlessly watch Netflix and scroll through your phone. But I would like to gently encourage you to simply force yourself for a time to do something instead of pick up your phone. Because the phone is literally designed to light up your brain with no effort from you whatsoever, and it does in fact rot your brain. It makes literally anything but scrolling on your phone seem difficult and joyless. But if you stop scrolling on your phone all the time and start reading, or embroidering, or gardening, or going for walks, you will eventually find the joy in them once more. I understand, and it is true that it is hard to have a life outside work and scrolling, but there is not a near future where that won't be the case, and you should still live a life. And you won't create a future where that isn't the case if you don't have the confidence and experience and drive to fight for it. Yes, even though I appreciate all my watchers seeing my videos right now, how about you put your phone down and go outside? Just enjoy life. Do something else. Please, put me down and go live. Thank you. It's sad how much of what is taught in school is useless to over 99% of the population. There are literally math concepts taught in high school and middle school that are only used in extremely specialized fields, or that are even so outdated they aren't used anymore. I took calculus my senior year of high school, and I really liked the way our teacher framed this on the first day of class. He asked somebody to raise their hand and ask him when we would use calculus in our everyday life. So one student rose their hand and asked, "When are we going to use this in our everyday life?" "Never," the teacher exclaimed. "You will never use calculus in your normal everyday life. In fact, very few of you will use it in your professional careers either." Then he paused. "So would you like to know why should you care?" Several of us nodded. He picked out one of the varsity football players in the class. "You practice football a lot during the week, right, Tim?" asked the teacher. "Yeah," replied Tim. "Almost every day." "Do you and your teammates ever lift weights during practice?" "Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays we spent a lot of practice in the weight room." "But why?" asked the teacher. "Is there ever going to be a play your coach tells you use during a game that requires you to bench press the other team?" "No, of course not." "Then why lift weights?" "Because it makes us stronger," said Tim. "Bingo," said the teacher. "It's the same thing with calculus. You're not here because you're going to use calculus in your everyday life. You're here because calculus is weightlifting for your brain. And I've never forgotten that. When it's taught right, learning math teaches you logic and how to organize your brain, how to take a problem one step at a time and make sure every step can bear weight before you move to the next one. Most adults don't need to know integrals, but goddamn if I don't wish everyone making arguments on the internet understood geometric proofs. Scientific concepts broaden our understanding of how the world is put together, which does not mean that most adults ever really understand how light is refracted through a lens, or why spinning copper wire creates electricity, and they don't need to, but science classes in general are meant to teach the scientific method, how to make observations and use them to draw conclusions, how to test those conclusions, how to be wrong and grow stronger from it. History isn't about dates and names of battles, it's about people, patterns, things we've tried before and ought to learn from. It's about how everything is linked, how changing one circumstance can lead to changes in 50 others, cascading infinitely. Literature is about critical thinking, pattern recognition, learning to listen to what somebody is saying and decide what it means to you, how you feel about it, and what you want to do with it. Some facts matter. Every adult should know how to read a graph, how global warming works, some of the basic themes and symbols that crop up in every piece of fiction, but ultimately, content is less important later in life than context. The good thing is, students who learn the content are likely to pick up at least some of the context, some of the patterns of thinking, even if they don't realize it. The unfortunate thing is how the current educational system prioritizes content so much that a lot of students and a lot of adults don't see the point in learning either, and teachers are overworked and held to standardized test grading scales such that it's hard for them to emphasize patterns of thinking over rote memorization, etc., etc., etc. But that is a whole different discussion. Thank you for this. I love it. I like giving people little gifts because actions speak louder than words, and if I want to say, "Your existence delights me, your presence is a joy," I would sacrifice any number of material diversions to see you smile, and in your absence I can only think of you and wait until we see each other again, then all I can really do to show that is produce a trinket I came across while doing so. And if the bauble itself makes you happy too, then that's a second pleasure. I would rather receive a chunk of concrete that tells me I have only one lifetime, one body, one mind. Of my own volition, I sacrificed a small piece of each at your altar, held this object in my hands, and allowed you to possess me. These seconds of my life I will never have back for any other purpose, and yet I would not surrender them, but rather surrender my only gain, this little thing, to you as well. For I delight in your delight, love in your love, shine warm in the light reflected by a mirror to a candle, over and over and over again, than any amount of thoughtless jewels half-heartedly tossed my way as a tiresome obligation. This is poetry. This is the type of spirit you should give gifts in to anybody that you care about. This is the most relatable thing a TikTok influencer has ever expressed, deep and poignant. Girls know that bread and water can so easily become toast and tea. It's like, bread and water is the barest, most basic and primal way to nourish yourself and stay alive, even if you aren't totally healthy. But if you somehow manage to take these essential modes of nourishment and add warmth, bread plus fire is toast, and flavor, water plus fire and spice and leaves is chai, then you can create a safe haven for yourself, as is implied with the combination phrase of toast and tea. When we say bread and water, we think of stereotypical medieval feudal prisoner in a tower food. When we say toast and tea, we think of coziness. The difference between the two is just 5% extra mile. Just some more warmth, and the warmth you find in life can come from anywhere. You, or others, or the world as a whole, anything that feels warming to the heart. When you are unhappy and feel like a prisoner in your days, your life, it is a sense of warmth that will take you out of survival mode and put you at ease. Do you see? I see a lot of people who tell young people especially young people who are heading into college, that they should do what they love. And you're right, you should do what you love. But there's a world of difference between doing what you love for you and doing what you love for a paycheck. I went to undergrad for graphic design and 3D design. Art and more art, I usually say. And I loved it. You know what I didn't love? Trying to collect my fees from clients. Trying to meet unrealistic, oversimplified, or overspecific briefs from people who didn't know what they were talking about. Coming home, having worked creatively all day, with no creative juice left for the things I wanted to do. You know what I would tell you instead? Do something that you can be interested in with people you like. You don't have to love it. Loving your work can be a lot, and it often means you have to live in your job 24/7. Some people can do that. Not everyone can, or should. But if you can find work that's interesting enough that it doesn't feel tedious, and people you can enjoy spending your 9 to 5 with, and you can make money, that's great. It means you can do the things you love for you. I'm in law school now. It's interesting work and difficult, and I like it. I like how complicated it gets, and I like the stories it tells. But I don't come home and read law journals for fun. I come home, and I sculpt, and I draw, and I paint, and I read. I do these things for me, and I love it. This is still circulating, and it's been a few years, so let me update. I'm officially a lawyer now, and still not a single regret about this choice. Settling into a stable job is such a gift and a privilege in ways I didn't expect. I'm not going to repeat the advice given above, but I want to make it clear that having passed through my student years and into my career proper, I stand by this in every respect. I chose to take a job that was not the most high-paying option available to me because it wouldn't require me to build my time. I would have a better work-life balance. I found the work more engaging, and I really loved the office. It has paid off so much. I get to walk to work, and most days I leave my laptop behind when I walk home at 5. I have a little house with a little garden and a bunch of seedlings sprouting too early for spring. I have 2 stupid cats and 2 stupider doves, and they make me happy. I put a little money into food and shelter for the neighborhood strays, and name all of my visiting opossums Harold. My art gets done when I feel inspiration striking, sometimes in the middle of the night, and I let my hobby fund itself without the pressure of deadlines. There is so much joy in making only what I want to. My sleep schedule has stabilized. For the first time in my life, I know the shape my days will take weeks and months away, because my routine is consistent, and I never knew what a peace that was. My job is predictable but never boring, interesting but not consuming, and it's just a job. There are people who will tell you, people who have told me, that turning my back on an artistic career or a career you have potential in is selling out or settling. Let me tell you, friends, I have never felt so settled. Collection of art wisdom. How to find your art style. Just draw whatever, and what's the most fun for you? Just do whatever. Don't even worry about it, dude. It doesn't matter. The actual key to learning to be a better artist is to be obsessed with something fucking stupid. Did you know you don't have to be good at something? You just gotta have fun. To everyone thinking this is unrealistic or fake or whatever, it's not. If you let go and have fun first, you're much more likely to keep going and become good without realizing. I hate it when people say you need to learn the basics of art before you go into it. The true way to learn art is actually going directly to drawing what you like, then being so attached to it that you have to go back and learn the fundamentals in order to make the art of what you like better. This sounds like I'm joking, but I'm serious. Passion first, theory second. I am going to create an ambitious art piece that I don't have half the technical skills needed for. That's how you get art skills. Aim way too fucking high and learn new things. It's the steps to growth, baby! This was just me being funny, but you're also correct and your brains are wrinkly. Daily reminder. Some points is better than no points. I came to class today completely unprepared and bombed the 10-point quiz. I got one question right purely on luck. But you know what? 20% is better than the 0% I would have gotten if I had skipped class. And it will be okay. This took me 6 years of failing to learn. I would skip tests and miss assignments I hadn't fully studied or completed. I don't know why. Perfectionism? Maybe because in my head, an automatic 0 was better than low grades, which would be proof I was struggling? Who can say? Then at the end, I would fail, getting 37-38%. Had I just submitted the half-completed assignments or taken the half-studied test, I might have passed instead of failing. Some points is always better than no points. This is also broadly applicable to life, where there are no real points. But some cleaning is better than no cleaning. Some progress on a project is better than no progress on a project. A short time getting active is better than no time being active, etc., etc. Relationships get so bananas when you start deciphering the other person's love language. Like, I thought I was just acquaintances with this person because they never told me details about themselves and we just talked movies and writing. But then they made time to have coffee with me, and they showed up out of breath because they ran to be on time for coffee with me? And I was like, I don't mind waiting, because I never want to run. But they said they wanted every minute they could get because I'm so busy usually. Which is when it clicked that I didn't get how much they considered me a friend, because I just straight away didn't see my signs of affection in them and went, cool, casual buds it is. But now that I'm seeing their signs of affection, I feel a little silly for dismissing them like that, even though I felt like we could be best bros. Anyway, some people show affection through time or intensity or commitment and not vocally. I really have to remember that. FYI, just in case you didn't know, touch. Got a bro that likes to give high fives? Back slaps? Are they a hugger? Do they not blink an eye at cuddles? Quality time. This bro will, as OP stated, sprint to spend every minute possible with you. Every second that you guys are together is a declaration of affection. Words. Does your bro tell you how amazing and great and fantastic and wonderful you are all the time? Guess what? Gifts. Do they buy you coffee, snacks, energy drinks, spot you at the restaurant? Did that one keychain remind them of you? Ding ding! Acts. Are they always doing things for you? I.e., nah bro, I got this, I can do that. Need me to get anything for you? I can help with? Pro tip. The way people show love is often how they receive love as well. Can I just say how much I love seeing this applied to friends or platonic relationships when I've only seen it about romantic ones before? Thank you!